Hello and welcome to Held and Heard. This is a podcast for pregnant and postpartum mamas who want to feel more connected to their babies and more confident in themselves. Here, we talk about elimination communication and infant potty learning as a way of listening, not as something to add to your plate, but as a way to better understand what your baby has been communicating from the very beginning. This is a place where you learn to trust your baby and yourself. I'm your host, Heather Medlin, mother of 3, infant potty learning educator, and founder of Ready from Birth, where I guide postpartum mamas through every stage of early potty learning, from birth to toilet independence. Each week, I'll help you slow down, tune in, and discover just how aware and capable your baby already is, so you can meet them with confidence instead of doubt. Your baby is communicating, and you are capable of listening. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Held and Heard. I am back to help you navigate the newborn stage. So if you are a pregnant or postpartum mama and you are either getting ready to have your baby or you've just had your baby, I know so well what that feels like. I have been through it 3 different times with my 3 babies, and I remember what it felt like to be a first-time mama. The overwhelm and uncertainty that happens in postpartum when you don't know what you're doing. And this is really exacerbated by not knowing how to help your baby and not understanding why your baby is crying. If you are in postpartum already, you may have noticed that your baby has very specific cries. And this is actually a universal language. Researchers have studied babies all over the world in different cultures with different languages, and they have found that all babies actually have these universal cry tones that mean different things. And what's really interesting, what I have found to be true in my experience with my 3 babies, is that babies never cry for no reason. They're always crying because they need something. They have a specific need. And so if you are experiencing all of this crying and you don't know what's going on and you don't know how to help your baby, it can be really, really overwhelming, especially if you're a first-time mom, you're dealing with the hormone drop for the first time, you're trying to figure out how to feed your baby and change your baby and what to do about sleep. And it is literally the most exhausted you have ever been in your body, because all of a sudden you're not sleeping. You might be sleeping for 2 hours and then you're woken up, and then 2 hours again and you're woken up. Everything changes. Your body is different. Your sleep is different. There's not enough of it. And I remember being a first-time mama and just feeling so overwhelmed because my baby was crying all the time, especially between 4 to 6 weeks. He was just crying all the time, and I didn't know how to help him. I didn't know what was going on. I remember holding my baby in the evening when he was just a few weeks old. I was bopping around the bedroom, holding him. He wouldn't settle. I knew he needed to go to sleep. I knew he was tired, but he was just crying and crying and crying. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I couldn't figure out how to help him. I thought maybe it's gas. Maybe he needs to poop. He wasn't hungry because he had just eaten a little bit ago, but he wouldn't settle. And when you have a baby who's crying, it is like alarm bells going off in your head. And it's incredible. We're actually just designed this way. I don't know if you've noticed, but after your baby is born, it's almost like your brain rewires itself to focus on an entirely different set of inputs that you never were focused on before. All of a sudden, your primary job as a mama is to keep your baby alive, to protect and feed this little tiny human that is so vulnerable, so helpless. They need you for everything. And so when your baby is crying, you can't focus on anything else. And if your baby is crying and crying and crying and you don't know how to help them, that, my friend, is a recipe for postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, and just not feeling confident as a mom. The reason I think that postpartum, especially for first-time moms, can be so overwhelming is because there's so many parts of it that you just don't have the experience to know what to do. With my second and third babies, it was honestly much easier because I had been through it before. I knew what was going on. I knew that my baby was crying because she was hungry or because he needed to poop or because he was tired. I knew exactly what the cries meant. And one of the reasons I do this work that I do in spreading awareness and education about elimination communication is so that more mamas, especially first time mamas, have the information and the tools that they need, that you need, to be able to understand what your baby is already communicating. Because one of the most overlooked pieces of infant communication is this need to eliminate, to pee or poop in a way that feels safe and good and natural. Because the truth is, newborn babies, their needs are so simple. They're not complex like an older baby or a toddler where emotions start to get involved, psychology, control, independence, all of these things that make dealing with your toddler, parenting your toddler, or heaven forbid, potty training a toddler, the things that make that so hard are not present with a newborn because their needs are so simple. So let's talk about what those 5 basic needs are. Your baby might be hungry, they might be sleepy, they might have a physical discomfort like something scratchy, or maybe they're cold. They have a need for a feeling of safety and security with you. So that closeness, that need to be close to you and know that you're there, and the need to pee or poop. That fifth need, the need to pee or poop, is so often overlooked in our modern culture because we have been taught that you put a baby on a diaper and you wait for a dirty diaper to change. That's just what we do in this culture. That's not what they do in other cultures around the world. Many, many cultures around the world do not even use diapers. They don't have access to them the way that we do in modern Western society. But in our culture, it is very common and expected to just put a diaper on the baby and walk away and wait for something to react to. What I want to flip your mind about here is that it's not about the diaper, it's not about the convenience, it's actually about understanding that your baby, as a human, naturally has an instinct to stay clean and dry. They don't want to pee or poop in a diaper as a newborn. It is something that we can train them to be accustomed to. We can literally diaper train a baby to be okay with soiling a diaper and accept it because it's more convenient for us. It allows us to put a diaper on our baby, drop them off at daycare, and go to work. It allows us to allow another caregiver to take care of them, or maybe to take care of multiple babies. In daycares, it can be very hard because there's lots of babies with lots of needs and only a few caregivers. So diapers do have a role. They are a tool that we use, but they are masking the communication that's actually happening. Because with a newborn baby, they don't want to pee or poop in their diaper. The day that they're born, they have a very powerful instinct not to do this. And they also don't really have this conscious level of awareness where they are aware of themselves as an independent being from you. They're not thinking about it. They're not going, oh, yeah, I need to poop. I better tell mama. It's an instinct. It's very similar to the hunger instinct or the closest instinct. These are survival instincts. Just like a baby, the day that they're born, you can place a baby on their mother's belly and they will literally scoot themselves up her body to find her nipple to latch on immediately after birth. It is an instinct that allows them to smell her, find the source of food, and latch on. They're not thinking about it. It's an instinct they're born with. God gave them this to protect them, to help them survive. It's very important. This ability to be aware of their elimination needs is also a survival instinct. And when we just put a baby in a diaper and walk away and we ignore this instinct, what's happening is that as your baby becomes more aware, around 4 to 6 weeks, they go through leap 1 in their brain development, about 4 weeks after their due date. measured from their due date, not from their actual date of birth. But around 4 weeks, what is known as leap one in their brain development. If you want to know more about the leaps, check out the book, The Wonder Weeks. It is fantastic to help you understand your baby and what they're going through. But around this 4 week mark, they start to become aware and they start to cry a lot. And if you're not responding to this need to pee or poop in a safe way away from their body, which is what they're naturally designed to do, they're going to cry about it. And so what we in our modern society have actually labeled colic, and we don't fully understand what colic is. We kind of know it's something to do with gastrointestinal discomfort. What we in our modern society have labeled colic is actually a very normal and predictable response to that feeling of helplessness that your baby is experiencing when they know that they need to pee or poop. They're crying, they're trying to communicate that to you, and you're doing nothing about it. If your baby needs to poop and you're not responding, you're not taking them to the potty and taking their diaper off and helping them do this because they're completely helpless and completely dependent on you, they're gonna cry. They're gonna resist this. And is colic also related to gas or related to constipation? It can be. But remember, these things are all related. What goes in must come out. So if you're feeding your baby and you're feeding them breast milk or formula at this point because they're not eating solids, whatever is going into your baby must then come out of your baby. And so feeding and pooping are intrinsically related. They are two sides of the same coin. If your baby knows that they don't want to pee or poop in their diaper and they know that it feels better to do this away from their body by pottying them either over a sink or a toilet or the ground, wherever you happen to be, or into a lap potty, whatever you have, they are naturally going to resist and they're going to cry. And so what happens when they're resisting is they're not pooping in their diaper. And so that can cause constipation because they're not just pooping right away when their body needs to poop. They're actually holding it. Yes, absolutely. A baby can hold it and wait to poop. They're holding it. And so that can cause discomfort. It can cause constipation. It can absolutely cause gas. Guess what the solution to gas and constipation is? Potty your baby. Because if you are pottying your baby regularly and giving them a chance to go pee, what often happens is every time you give them a chance to go pee, they're also going to poop. And when they are also pooping frequently, 6 to 8 times a day, which is every time you are feeding them, you are likely to also get a poop either right then or an hour or so later. Like literally every time you feed them, you should be expecting a poop. And if they're not pooping that frequently, they're holding it. And if they're holding it, then you are introducing the risk of gas and constipation, which is going to cause pain, discomfort, and yes, unexplained crying. When you are giving your infant, your newborn, regular opportunities to use the potty and go pee or poop outside of a diaper, they're going to be releasing everything in them much more frequently, which is going to make them more comfortable. It's going to make them more peaceful. They're not going to be crying because they're not going to have gas pains and constipation. So the solution to the crying baby is actually not do what I did, which is bop around the room, patting them on the booty, going, shh, it's okay, it's okay. How many times have we done that? It's not trying to console them and comfort them through the discomfort and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because what we're teaching them then is that feeling you're feeling in your body, it's normal. It's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel resistance to peeing or pooping in your diaper. And you know what's going to happen? Eventually they are going to go in their diaper because you're never coming to take it off. And you are normalizing that that's what you want them to do. You're teaching them that that's what's supposed to happen, which is going to make toddler potty training later so much more difficult because you have trained your baby from the newborn days that that's what you want them to do. So when you eventually take the diapers away and you say, okay, now I want you to pee and poop in a potty, it's confusing to them because that's never been the case. That's never been what you wanted them to do. I really want to encourage you Instead of feeling like I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so tired, my baby's crying all the time, they have colic, they have constipation, whatever it is that you're feeling overwhelmed by right now, I just really want to encourage you to try it. Try it for a couple days, see what happens. I guarantee you that when you start taking your baby's diaper off and giving them a chance to potty in a way that feels safe and natural and in line with the instincts that God has given them, they are going to feel so much better. They are going to stop crying, and the alarm bells in your head are going to stop. And that is going to bring so much peace to your postpartum, so much peace to your baby. Both of my second and third babies were night and day different than my first because they never cried. Neither one of them did. I was feeding them the same thing, breast milk, eating the same diet. And my second and third babies, the difference was they were getting a chance to go potty all the time as a newborn. And they never cried. They were incredibly peaceful. If they did cry, I knew what was going on. I knew how to help them. It was something that I could identify, okay, they're either hungry, they're tired, or they need to go potty. And I was able to solve that problem immediately. And the crying stopped and the alarm bells stopped. I just want to invite you to try it. And if you aren't sure what to do, you're not sure how to hold them, go ahead and download my free guide. I'll link it. It's always linked in the show notes. You can grab that. It's going to show you positions to use, when to offer, how to get started. And if you are ready to do this and you want to try, but you're thinking, Heather, I'm just so tired. I don't have the capacity to try to learn something new right now. I don't know how to figure this out alone. I don't want to try to teach myself and DIY this right now. If you're feeling that overwhelm, I want to let you know that I do have a community where you can do this together with other mamas from around the world. We are doing EC together. So if you would like some integration support as you are learning this and trying to start something new with your baby, whether you're a first-time mom or this is your third or fourth baby, I want to invite you to join the listening circle. You can still join right now as a founding member for less than your next box of diapers, and I guarantee you that the support and the encouragement and the accountability you're going to get from belonging to a group of other women who share this value and are doing this practice with you is going to save you that tenfold in diapers. It's not about the money, y'all. It is about the peace that comes when you start understanding what your baby is already telling you and learning how to respond. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm going to leave it there, but I want to encourage you to grab that guide down below if you are just getting started, and I will see you next week. If you loved today's episode, would you take a moment to help me reach even more mamas with this message? Leave me a review or share this with a friend. You can help even more families discover what's possible. You can find education and support for every stage of your baby's potty learning journey at readyfrombirth.com. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at readyfrombirth.ec. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back every Monday with a brand new episode. See you next time. Bye for now.